it's never a good idea to accept a stranger's offer of a walk. I know this now, but 2 years ago, as I strolled through the park, I didn't think that anything could go wrong. I was enjoying the tranquility of the park when suddenly, I saw something ahead of me in the shadows. At first, I thought it might be nothing more than a stray animal, but as I drew closer, I began to make out what appeared to be a man. I grew nervous, chills running down my spine. Something about the way he was walking made me uncomfortable, but suddenly, he walked under a lamppost and a grin spread across my face. I knew this man. He was the father of one of my good friends, Lucy, and we'd all spent many afternoons in the park together. I put my previous fear aside and began to walk toward him again, my fear replaced with relief.
Hey, Mr. Castro. It's me, Clarissa.
Clarissa! It's been so long since we've seen each other. How you been? How are your parents?
His polite inquiries were comforting and my fears from before began to subside. We continued to walk together, engaging in pleasant conversation and reminiscing on our past family adventures. I relaxed as we continued to walk, enjoying the late night air. Despite this, the conversation soon took a turn for the worse and began to make me feel uncomfortable.
So, Clarissa, are you seeing anyone special yet? You know, I'm always willing to give advice.
He licked his lips and leered at me.
Thanks, but I'll pass.
Well, it's your loss. Come, let me show you something.
The implication cleared. I had forgotten my previous fear as I hesitantly followed him down a dark alley, his grip on my arm tightening as he led me forward. We eventually came to a stop and I looked around in confusion, not sure why we were there. Suddenly, his hands were on my shoulders, pushing me up against the wall. His lips were on my neck and I instinctively recoiled, screaming for help.
Help! Somebody! Please help me!
Shut up! It's too late! Nobody is out right now! Stop struggling or I'll hurt you!
He began to tie me up and I knew that if I didn't get free soon, this would be the end for me. With a burst of strength, I managed to break free and ran towards the park as fast as I could. I could hear him cursing behind me. I hid in a bush, my heart pounding as I tried to remain silent. I could hear him storming around, his footsteps thudding as he ran.
Clarissa, come back! I just want to talk!
He began rummaging through the bushes directly next to the public bathroom in the park. I whimpered, trying my best to stay hidden. All he had to do was look through the bushes I was hiding in, and I was finished. I stayed hidden though. He was right next to me and I clamped my hands over my mouth, trying my best not to move. I could see him from my hiding place in the bush. His wild and scraggly hair hung limply from his balding head, his weird eyes greenish in the moonlight. The black dots in the center of his eyes darted to and fro, trying to find me. His hulking form stood looming over the park, like an omen of death. He walked off, but I could still hear him shouting out my name and calling for me to come out.
Clarissa! Clarissa!
Finally, it grew quiet and I knew he had gone for now. I crawled out from my hiding place and ran to my car, quickly getting inside and driving home. When I arrived at my house, however, I saw something that made me sick. Out front in my yard, a hulking figure stood, his eyes wild as he stared into my windows. The hair was unmistakable, and I knew in an instant that it was Castro. I cursed myself now for inviting him and his daughter over to my house before. He knew where I lived, backing my car into an alleyway before he could see me. I quickly dialed the police.
Hello? Yes, please send help. There's a man outside my house that I'm afraid of. He's been following me and trying to abduct me.
I gave them the address and they promised to be there soon. Looking out of my window, I saw Castro beginning to walk away from my house, his form becoming more and more mysterious in the night. I waited patiently for the police, praying that he wouldn't get away before they got here. When they arrived, we looked around the area, but he had vanished as if into thin air. After searching for his car, however, they found something that made my stomach churn. Inside the trunk, the police found women's clothing and bags full of trinkets. The police quickly got a search warrant and searched his house. It was in the news a few days later. Several young women had been held captive in his house for years. I couldn't believe I had nearly fallen victim to a serial abductor. I shivered at the thought of how close I had become to being one of those poor girls, never seeing the light of day again. I've learned my lesson. Anyone who thinks that these abductions don't happen is foolish. You need to be aware of your surroundings, and you need to be careful of who you trust. That's something I will never forget. Even if you think you know someone, be cautious. It could save your life.
The story you just saw is based on the true, terrifying story of Ariel Castro. Ariel Castro was a serial killer who kidnapped 3 girls between 2002 and 2004. These 3 girls were held hostage in his house until 2013, when they escaped. During this time, one of the women had a daughter. Castro kidnapped these women by inviting them for drives and then kidnapping them. After being caught, Castro was sent to 1,000 years in prison without the possibility of parole.